World Cup Season 3 qualifiers, ladies and gentlemen. This is currently, again, a best of 1 between these two players, but a best of 9 overall between the teams, and the score is 3-2, currently in the favor of mYinsanity. But spawning in the top left corner of the map, the challenger appears from IVD Gaming, the blue Zerg player, ZergZingZing.
And in the bottom right, as the red Terran, it is mYinsanity's Jjakji.
Now, we've seen Jjakji, we know Jjakji. I want to talk a little bit about ZergZingZing, because I feel like he's going to be the lesser-known player here, guys. And one thing that's really nice is I got to see him compete in the IEM qualifiers, the Red Bull qualifiers last year. This was a guy who, at first, when I saw his name, I thought it was a bit of a troll. I had no idea who he was, and at the time, I don't think he was on IVD just yet. But I know for one thing, I'll remember this guy forever, because he's got the most mouthful of a name to say, especially when you're talking about his Zerglings running across the map. ZergZingZing Zerglings are a lot of fun to say, but all jokes aside, he's a really talented player. He played so well, in fact, that we actually invited him to come play Show Match versus Select not too long ago, where he proved again, where it was even, I think it was only like a best of 3, but it was like an hour and a bit long series because every game was macro, and he took it to the 20-minute mark without Swarm Host, without anything other than skill, banelings, and Mutalisks.
I just call him Zing Zing. Makes it a lot easier to say Zing Zing Zerglings.
Well, whatever you want to call him, guys. It's gonna be IVD's best hope at the moment. Again, Jjakji is a very difficult player to take down. The bottom line of this is, whether it's cheese, whether it's macro, it's not gonna be fun dealing with this mYinsanity player. He is kind of their ace in the hole a lot of the time, and let's not forget, even if they manage to muddle through Jjakji, Stardust is lying in wait. But I kind of see for IVD, their best case scenario is if ZergZingZing takes out Jjakji and Stardust comes into the mix early. Puck would be, in my opinion, probably the best player to throw against him. I know Puck's PvP is probably maybe not heralded as the craziest, but watching him in WCS last year was amazing. And I'm expecting really good PvP if it comes down to that.
Yeah.
But that's wishful thinking right now. We got to get through this first. Again, the ATC Team Story Cup presents a lot of really cool strategy and a lot of outside thinking rather than just your regular StarCraft 2, because again, you have to take into consideration players and maps, as well as the overall team score, because it's really easy for mYinsanity to throw out Jjakji right now, but that's them burning their big guns right away. If he goes down quickly, all of a sudden they're in a bit of trouble.
Which he hasn't, but yeah, could have been. He went for a 1-rack expand, gasless. Just boggles my mind right now. He got the gas now, yeah, but you usually see a Reaper expand or a 14cc, and not 1 racks with Marines. He didn't actually get the Overlord, which is actually, you know, usually they expect you to get Reapers, so they just put it over your barracks and you get a free damage over at the very least. But he's pushing now, and this is so weird. He's gonna push in there.
I was kind of expecting an SCV to come with this, plant down just like some sort of aggressive bunker, but.
Oh, you can. That was actually something that Terrans were doing, like on Daybreak, for instance. If you could get the SCV behind the mineral line at the 3rd, place down the bunker, and they don't see it.
Have you seen Xenociders play lately, by the way?
A little bit.
Xenociders been putting down aggressive bunkers versus Protoss lately, and I actually think it's the coolest thing ever. He was playing Go for StarCraft and both Monday and Thursday this past week, and I got the pleasure of casting him both times. And he did these like little aggressive Marine pushes that he would just build the bunker at the natural base of the Protoss player.
Going out here with the Marines is a little bold. You're going to assume, I suppose, that the Zerg player is going to be trying to get as many drones as possible, and they're not comfortable with getting Lings at this point, almost 100%, as they're not used to seeing Marines out on the map. But if they did, you know, if they're just like, let me try this, I wonder how much damage 20 Lings surround the Marines and get into the main, how much that would do. He did pull back exactly at 6 minutes, though. He's at his base at 6 minutes, which is when speed finishes. So, maybe not actually possible.
I know the ramp's been fixed, but it's kind of one of those things you'll never forget if you played this map at any point before they adjusted the map. Where this ramp used to be way bigger, and I still it's unforgivable that the map came out like that. And it's ridiculous.
Some people disagree with you.
Some people, some particular Zergs would disagree, yeah, for sure. But,
well, some Protosses would disagree with you.
Well, a small update, guys. So I was, I kind of brought this up a bit casually. I want to explain this because I've been given the proper information now. I was curious on why Dignitas, was replaced with ESC Gaming, EC Icy Box with the brackets, and I guess what happened was Complexity and Dignitas went for some sort of merger or teamwork agreement or whatever it's called officially, and because Complexity played last season, they're already in the Acer Team Story Cup, so Dignitas didn't need to qualify because they're basically pairing up with Complexity there. So that's why ESC Gaming's been introduced to the brackets.
Makes sense. Dignitas and Complexity don't really have the biggest roster, and
I feel, yeah, because I mean, like, you got Dignitas, Select, and Tefl, really good players, but then I don't know who else is beyond that. Queen almost gonna go down here. Nice transfuse there out of ZergZingZing. I like the aggressive amount of Queen's yes too.
He attacked his own creep tumor.
It's a Hellion. Yeah, that misclick. It kind of sucks when you do that, but I mean, kind of you gotta be quick on your control here to deal with these Hellions. Now, what we see out of Jjakji is a huge investment of further Hellions. We got the Banshees coming out now too. Cloak's just about done, and ZergZingZing getting a Spore Caller down. I like the positioning of it. It's not exactly gonna cover versus the Banshee aggressively. Oh, what are these Queens doing over here? Sort of vastly
dying.
out of position.
Yeah, there's a
transfuse. Oh, just barely gets the transfuse off. 2 transfuses even. But with no stealth attack, this one Queen with 2 HP, there's no transfuses for like 10 seconds.
Oh, he does have a Spore Crawler. There it is. Alright. Does go down. I was going to talk about how some Terrans are actually starting to bring those Marines, if they have them, like the 6 Marines out on this push, which could be really cool to see. It just, you know, harkens back to the time of doing weird pushes at random times, try and kill a Zerg. Doesn't actually kill them, but does a lot of damage. But Jjakji not choosing to do that, just getting a lot more Helens than usual, and going into that third command center. Stim is actually about to finish.
Where'd those Queens go? Up at the natural. This is going to cost ZergZingZing a lot here at the third. Way more than he was willing to, should have been willing to lose here. That's really unfortunate. He did have a couple lings up, but we saw him get fried on the ramp, and I think he was hoping those would be enough, but as we saw, not the case.
Well, 11 drones down. Jjakji did invest a little further into Hellions, so it's not actually too bad, I believe. Upgrades are on the way, tech's on the way as well. He would like to, you know, have that third saturated, which he's going to have, actually, as 10 drones pop out.
So just cleared some misinformation in chat, guys. They actually removed Jokers. I said this at the early part of the broadcast. To explain what a Joker was, last season you could have a player who wasn't part of your team represent your team in the Acer Team Story Cup. So for example, you would have like Demaga playing for Quantic Gaming. They got rid of that for this season. Season 3 of the Acer Team Story Cup, as of right now, will have no Jokers whatsoever. Yeah.
I know a lot of people were complaining on the Reddit thread about that. You know, we might like it, or maybe the casters or viewers like it, I don't know, but a lot of people were complaining.
Well, third base established for Jjakji right now. This is a map where I don't think any Terran player's ever been comfortable trying to secure this third because it's so wide, it's so open, it's so very exposed from multiple angles. But then again, the fourth doesn't make it much easier. But I think the best thing is a lot of the times, you know, it's said time and time again, the best defense is a good offense type thing. And Daedalus Point is one of those maps that really reflects it. Because it's really difficult to just bunker down. You're never going to put a full supply depot wall at the top of this ramp, for example, at least not economically. And putting pressure on ZergZingZing is going to be a lot better than trying to bunker up and play defensive. And we'll get 10 Mulos on the way. Jjakji's already getting ready to push, so these Mulos are not going to get to wrap around the map and get the free kills that they normally would like to.
Well, a lot of the time, mutas aren't even out by the time this push happens, so they can get away with that medevac pickup. Banshees try and cancel this before they die. Oh, it actually gets away.
Family speed almost done. Not quite yet. This was, of course, one of the problems we had earlier today, but this will not be the problem here for ZergZingZing. Mulos are going to go down on the Banelings. Oh, literally seconds away, but get some decent connects.
That was so scary. He tried running into the Banelings. No, that doesn't work. This Banshee is alive, and while it doesn't kill the hatchery,
it's going to be so low. This will be such an easy pickoff later for like 4 Marines.
Yeah. He has a few transfuses he can use, but
you don't want to use transfuses on a hatchery like that.
Well, I mean, throw down 3 creep tumors and whatever else, use the transfuse. I think it's okay.
Well, I think Jjakji's sensing weakness here. Gonna go for a drop towards the north and probably push that 4th base down.
Well, this could be a little risky. He knows that mutas are out. They were in that engagement, so you know, drops aren't going to be totally free, and they do use transfuses. I like that, actually. I think saving it a bit longer rather than having any further creep spread is better. But
I That's a lot of banelings with speed. He's not quite fighting on creep though. Queens are trying to focus down those medevacs. They actually soak the hits to those Widow Mines. Now the banelings are not going to have as much to really threaten them.
He wasn't really controlling the banelings. They exploded on the Widow Mines that were already used, so I'd rather him use those on the Marines.
Yeah, walk past and go for the Marines, exactly. Last couple of Widow Mines are taken out here. Jjakji's still trying to back away with these Marines, but he just doesn't have the fighting force that he did moments ago. Drop in the natural, though, has cleaned this base out. So while ZergZingZing may have won the fight, he might just lose the war if he can't clean this up. A lot of drones have gone down, 26 to be precise. Oh wow, it's 58 workers to 74. Something you don't often see Terran versus Zerg, not from the Terran perspective at least.
It's a little high for the Terran, actually, but yeah, definitely true. And also, unfortunate, ZergZingZing has not been able to get his 2-2. He has enough minerals, doesn't have enough gas, though, and he's trying to rebuild that army he just lost. Jjakji took a really good trade. The supplies are still even, but as a Zerg player, you're going to be up 10-20 supply, preferably 20.
Yeah, his upgrades, this is what I was going to focus on a moment ago, his upgrades are really far behind. As a Zerg player, you want to be able to beat your Terran opponent to level 2 upgrades, both in armor and weapons, but he's only just starting weapons only, whereas Jjakji's about to complete both level 2 weapons and armors of his own. And of course, he's also investing in vehicle armor as well for the combination medevacs as well as Widow Mines.
Look at that production tab, it was like stretching all the way.
Yeah.
Even investing into a sensor tower I think is really smart for this. I mean, that's easily snipeable. It's kind of a funny position, but good idea.
I'm kind of worried for ZergZingZing, honestly. While the army supplies don't look too different, guys, it's the fact that Jjakji's got this crazy supply, or not supply, but production capability. Now he's on 2-2. He's going to push this base.
Look how many... Look how many Widow Mines he has.
Too many. So many.
Like, he killed all the Widow Mines, but he just is producing a lot.
Marine's going to stem forward here. Focus on the hatch. You're trying to bait out. I like that he used a small amount to try and bait this out, but it's a threat that can't be ignored. Now trying to engage into this. All the Zerglings, all the banelings go down, and while there certainly is a lot of mutilates, 24, they can't really engage into these Marines. But here comes round 2 of the banelings, and ZergZingZing doing this right. I mean, a lot of times Zerg players get caught off guard, but they lose all their banelings, and they haven't made that second round behind it. But ZergZingZing on the ball with this, and he holds this 4th base again one more time.
Look at the reinforcements catching up for Jjakji, though. He is nearly max. ZergZingZing's having difficulty getting past 180. His upgrades are also now officially behind. Jjakji has 2-2, well on his way to 3-3. He has to take a really good engagement.
All these mutals are just soaking those Widow Mine hits like crazy. They're incredibly low. This Thor should be able to deal a ton of damage. Another shot might just kill 4 or 5 of those mutalisks.
Yeah. Still enough Marauders, just look up a lot of baneling hits as well. Not enough Marines. If that Thor wasn't there, the Muta's actually...
They would win hardcore, but still fighting with a lot of Marines. His production line is just streamed across the map, and even if ZergZingZing cleans this up, guys, Jjakji's halfway to 3-3. This base is going to fall, and there's no baneling reinforcements behind this. The army supply is half that of Jjakji's, and this is looking really grim. Good game is called. Jjakji now puts his team up 4-2. Now what this means is finally, if they want to resurrect Gamja, Ruff, Apocalypse, any player that has played today, now that it's kind of on match point, because of course it's first to 5 wins in a best of 9 scenario, guys, IVD has that option. So I don't know who they'll bring back or what they'll bring back, but the scary thing is whoever they bring back has to not only be able to beat Jjakji, but anyone that follows Jjakji. So this is not a comfortable scenario at all.
Are we casting any more after this?
Yeah, I think we're falling to whatever the next series is.